What to do when buying a house for the first time? Well, I'm going to take you through 9 steps. I'm going to take you through some principles and also some options if you're struggling to get onto the property ladder. Step 1 is to save a deposit. Well, it sounds really obvious, I know, but it is the hardest thing to do if you're wanting to buy a property in Sydney. Ideally, you'll save 20% of the property's value, and that way you can avoid paying lender's mortgage insurance. And you're also going to need 5% for the costs of purchasing. Now, if you're buying a $500,000 property, for instance, that means saving up a $100,000 deposit plus 5%, which is another $25,000 in costs. If you're going to save a 10% deposit, you need to be aware that you'll have to pay lender's mortgage insurance, and that can vary from lender to lender, which leads to step 2. Step 2 is to get a good mortgage broker. Ideally an investment-savvy mortgage broker, because regardless if this is for your home or for an investment, getting the structure right and getting good advice at this stage is absolutely crucial. Step 3 is to put together your wish list. Write down absolutely everything you want. Trust me, it's the last time you're going to get everything you want on a piece of paper. You're going to have to compromise, but the starting point is everything that you want. Because then you're ready for step 4, which is to go out and do some research. Get out there, look at property, basically pound the pavement, look in the areas in which you want to buy. You'll find out very quickly whether you can afford what you want or not. So then you might need to go back and revise that wish list. Step 5 is to get advice from the experts. Now, obviously, I'm a buyer's agent and I welcome you to come and ask me for advice. You've got to be careful when you're getting advice from your parents, because as well-meaning as they can be, I've often seen parents, particularly at auction, inadvertently help their kids pay way too much for the properties that they've been buying. Step 6, review your expectations. So once you've been out researching the market, you know how much money you've got to spend and you know what your wish list is, see if they all line up. Step 7 is to inspect for real, because now you're educated and you actually know what you're going to get for your money. Step 8, once you've found the property you want to buy, do your due diligence. Now that includes working out what it's worth, but there's a whole list of things you need to check out. Click on the link below for a checklist. Step 9, once you've done all of that work, you're ready to negotiate. Now I just want to quickly talk about some principles that are essential for first home buyers to understand. This is your first rung on the property ladder. If you don't get this right, you basically can ruin your entire future. And I'm being serious here. Get it right. Take the time to get this property purchase right. Don't buy brand new just because the government is giving you a first home buyer grant. Be really, really wary of brand new. A lot of people lose money this way. Go and look at existing stock. Watch out for affordable locations outside the cities. Be on the lookout for capital growth and make sure there's an easy commute and employment opportunities. Don't believe the hype. Check your mindset. It's not really hopeless. I said earlier, the hardest thing to do is save the deposit. After that, interest rates are lower than they were 20 years ago, and yet the average age of the first home buyer is still the same. And beware the bank of mum and dad. As I said earlier, well-meaning parents often encourage their kids inadvertently to pay more money than they should. I've seen parents at auction override their kids saying, no, it's gone over my limit. No, I'll help you. What they're actually doing is helping you pay too much, so be very, very wary of that. Now there's 4 options that first home buyers have if they're struggling to get onto the property ladder. Number 1 is rent vesting. This is where you rent where you want to live and you buy an investment somewhere else. Just make sure that somewhere else is where plenty of other people want to live. Number 2 is that you could share, maybe with a really good friend or a family member. It probably works a little bit better for those who are investing rather than living in the property themselves. But one thing I do recommend here is get a co-ownership agreement if you're going to do this. Number 3, don't be scared to buy small. If you're buying in a great area, a small property can perform better than a big property in a bad area. Number 4, be real. Be honest with yourself. Are you really making the sacrifices that you need to make in order to be able to afford to buy your first property? You know, once you're on that ladder, you will look back and you'll be glad you did it.